In the early 60s, Williamstown was very much, to me, a country town where you knew everyone, you grew up with them, you went to school with them. When you left school, you saw them around the town, and they were there every time. You either played football against them or with them, or cricket against them and with them. Went out together, partied together, and so on. Yeah.
It was great growing up in Williamstown. Like Williamstown, most of our lives was always down the beach. Like every summer actually started on show day, I reckon. The first day down the beach was show day. We spent all our time down there all the summer with all the, get all the blokes we used to go to school with. It was basically get up in the morning, go to Williamstown Beach, come home for lunch, go back to Williamstown Beach, come home for dinner, go back to Williamstown Beach. So that was our whole life.
The western suburbs back in the 60s was a tough area. It was a working class area, lots of factories. Everyone worked hard, everyone played hard.
In 1957, I wandered down to Williamstown. Everybody says, well, you're crazy for going down there, you won't get a game, because I just won 3 premierships in a row. And I thought, oh, well, I don't want to go anywhere else. Yarraville sent me an invitation, and I only wanted to go to Willie.
The 60s was a tough era, mate, I'm telling you. I played probably my first game, full game against Port Melbourne, and as full forward. Anyway, this Jack Metherall was full-back. Anyway, he said to me before the game started, he said, you get a kick, I'll kick your head in. Anyway, first quarter I've gone out, picked up the ball and I fell over. His boot missed my head by 1 inch.
In the 60s, yes, football was exciting, the passion was good, but we loved the game. And we were happy to go to training, and we were happy to be in the environment of football.
Then, the second quarter, he's come from behind, he eye-gouged me. I couldn't, there's no off and on in those days, so I've got to stay on. I couldn't see till 3/4 time.
Because when I first played at Williamstown, it was the old-fashioned way, you change in the forward pocket, you change in the back pocket, that was it. It was not uncommon to have 4 ruckmen going up in the centre square. If it was a bad bounce, it's your ball. If it wasn't, it was my ball. And so it was completely different to what it is now.
3/4 time siren went, and I said, I'd just come from under 18, I wasn't expecting, and I said, stuff this. So I said, all right, Jack, cop this. Anyway, I give him, and mate, I found out later, he was as weak as bloody water as a player, but that was typical Port Melbourne. And they put that Port Guernsey on, they all grew to about 8 foot tall.
It was basically get the ball, kick it, and kick it to advantage, not try and be fancy and go across the ground and kick the ball backwards and go to the fat side of the ground, as they call it now.
I got an invite down as a 16-year-old to go down and train with Williamstown. So, I was wrapped, So I went down there. I trained the first practice match. I thought, oh yes, I'll be in the seconds. I'll play with the thirds in that summer. And I lined up on the half-back flank, and one of the players who was playing half-forward at the time was Ray Smith. So I copped Ray Smith in my first practice game, which was a good awakening for me. I realised I still had a long way to go.
On numerous occasions, I think I kick 4s and 5s regularly. I kicked 5 goals in the 1961 preliminary final, and the winning goal with about a minute to go in that game, and another 3 in the grand final. So I'd kicked 8 in 2 finals, and Cluffy get kicked 4 in the grand final. But Darryl Ward, we're Tommy Pellier, they're all good goal kickers, yeah.
I used to drop kick when I used to kick off mainly because I couldn't really kick a punt kick.
I knew all about Williamstown, and they were a great club. Callaghan said to me, he said, Mac, see, you come down here, you might think you're good, but you're coming into a great club with tradition and a lot of good players. And I respected that.
We're all goal hungry, as the saying goes. I think it makes good rovers. If you're not a goal-hungry rover, well, you're not a rover.
I used to do torpedoes, good at that. People says, no more torpedoes. It's no good, it doesn't work properly. You're going to do drop punts. I couldn't do them. So I just used to kick them.
We used to go in the 60s and sign a book every month. £6 a week, the book would be open, £24. Darryl Ward was the captain after Ray Smith had retired. Darryl Ward was the captain, he'd get £1 a week extra, and we'd sign and we'd get a cheque.
I didn't have to tell you any stories how I knuckled anyone or...
I only spent 5 years at Williamstown, but in those 5 years, cramped in an enormous amount of social activities. We had parties at Lindsay's place, at my place, and as George said, when you're in a good side, you always feel good. When you're going down there every week and you're in the finals, the 5 years I was there, and they'd won 3 flags previous, and I get there and they were in the finals every year. So you do feel good, your ego's up, even if you haven't got one, it builds your ego up.
I made a lot of friends, not acquaintances, friends. I may not see them regularly now, but when I do come across them, it's a friendship. And to me, one of the reasons, or a reason why I stayed down at Williamstown was that I was happy.
In my early days, I always thought it was you sort of thought it was a privilege to be playing at Williamstown.
Back in the 60s, there wasn't much glory. You were just playing for the love of the game. I mean, that's the way it was. Money wasn't important. You got a couple of pounds. We were all working. I was making plaster sheets. I worked lifting plaster sheets all day long. Fit as a Mallee bull. But we all worked. Lindsay worked in the railways. George was sitting on his arse buddy selling cars. But I mean, we all worked. And
we were all mates. We weren't just footballers. We were mates. And winning premierships, you can't win premierships and not become stronger. Your bond is always there. Players that I played in premiership sides, they'll always be your mates because there's that premiership there that you value. They can't take that away from you. You'll always remember that.
60s rock and roll, Buddy Holly, what more could you want? Elvis. So those were the days, my friend.